Webheads, on this week's most anticipated, we got a lot of number 1 issues, a lot of number 2 issues, but there's one issue that has a point in front of it. I'll give you one guess what series that one is. Hey, all my webheads out there, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, I am your host, Mike Spider Slayer, always helping you make decisions on what comic books to buy. And today, guys, I'm bringing you my top 10 most anticipated comics. Fans, this is for December 8th, 2021. That's right, guys, it's never too early to start that pull list for next week, and hopefully this list does help you make decisions on what comic books to buy. So, guys, before we get started, I want to talk a little bit about Mutant Beaver Comics. Mutant Beaver Comics is a global leader specializing in exclusive variants with over 900 exclusives in their store. They ship worldwide on a daily basis. Their mandate is to offer the widest selection of exclusive variants on the planet, along with top-notch customer service. If you guys enter promo code Corner10, and not only can you save 10% on your first purchase, but every other purchase after that. So don't miss out on those exclusives. MutantBeaverComics.com. All right, guys, so let's kick off this countdown with the hot seat. That's right, guys. The hot seat is the book that I'm thinking about buying. It looks kind of cool, but you never know until I actually get to the shop. But this one goes to AWA's Crimson Cage issue 1. This looks like it could be a kind of cool book because it seems like it deals with wrestling. So if you're a wrestling fan, you might be all over this book. I'm not a wrestling fan, but it looks interesting because you don't see too many types of these books. However, this is a reimagining tale of Macbeth. So I don't know if you're going to be into that. I did see a few preview pages for this book. It does look very wordy, but we'll see how it turns out. Again, wrestling fans might love this. This is the Crimson Cage issue 1, a $4 comic. We go on to the book that's on the rise, and the book that's on the rise is a book I enjoyed because I follow Erik Larsen, and he doesn't do too many projects, but if it wasn't for Erik Larsen, I don't know if I would be really into comic books. And this goes into Ant issue 2. This is titled Ant Apocalypse. Now, we got to see kind of the origin story in the last issue, the very first issue of Hannah Washington, on how she became the Ant, how her father died and whatnot, and I think it's pretty cool. I enjoyed it. Now, Erik Larsen's artwork may not be as strong as it once was when he was on the SpiderMan title back in the 90s, or maybe in the early days of Savage Dragon. However, I'm still going to follow the title. Whether you guys do or not, that's up to you, but I'm looking forward to Ant number 2. Right now, we move on to number 10, and number 10 goes to Newburn. This is issue 2, written by Chip Zdarsky. I love the first issue about this guy who is an investigator for the mob. He used to be a former police officer, but now that he's retired, he's like, you know what? Why don't I work for the mob? They're going to pay me a lot more money, and it doesn't matter which family he works for all of them. And if someone messes with him, they're going to kill the guy that tried to kill him. So it seems like a very interesting concept for a comic book. However, I can see this book being a very heavy investigative type of book, like a CSI, Law and Order. You're going to have to pay 110% on what's going on. And knowing me, right, I'll probably miss something and I'll be completely lost. Will I stick with this book? We'll see what happens, but I love the concept of it. This is a $4 comic. Coming in at number 9, fans of Captain America and Iron Man are going to love this book. This is Captain America, Iron Man, issue 1. Now, I think this book was on the countdown, or most anticipated, I think, last week, but it got delayed, so I apologize about all this, but it's hard to do this video sometimes when we got all these delays and paper shortages and freaking all his shutdowns and hacks and all that other stuff. But when it comes to Captain America and Iron Man issue 1, we got the two heroes teaming up together just like the old days, doing battle against Hydra. Like, that's pretty badass, right? So why not try to pick this up, see what this one is about. If you don't like it, at least you got a cool Alex Ross main cover here. 28 pages, and this one's $4. Coming in at number 8, we have Wastelanders Hawkeye. This is issue 1. Guys, Old Man Hawkeye is back. Way back from the Old Man Logan series, and we know that Clint is now blind, but in this new, I guess, series that has to deal with Clint, he's going to be teaming up with Matt Murdock. Now, how cool is that? Why is he teaming up with Matt Murdock? It's because Matt is blind, so who better else to team up with to help him improve his senses, right? Since he lost his eyesight. So I'm really looking forward to this, I guess you want to call it team up book, and this Wastelands book. I think all these have been bangers. I think this has been a great series overall when it comes to all old man books. You know, even the Peter Quill one wasn't half bad. So check this one out if you're interested. 28 pages, $4. Coming in at number 7, we have another book from AWA this week, and this is Knighted issue 2. This is like, you want to call like the rip-off Batman title, right? The hero's name is the Knight, and we get this Joe Schmo who's like a Peter Parker, right? And then you got this other guy who is like a Batman, and he winds up dying because he's peeping Tom on some women, and this Joe Schmo guy comes across his body, picks it up, and then all of a sudden, now he's thrusted into this universe, and he's going to be the next freaking Batman, right? When he comes and interacts with his butler, he's like a Morgan Freeman wannabe, Alfred, and it's hilarious. You would not think that this book was going to be as funny as it was, and now this guy who's like a Peter Parker has got to be the next Batman character called the Knight. And how does he handle that? Well, that's still yet to be determined, but I can't wait to see the journey. Check this one out. If issue 1 is still on the stands, I highly recommend it. This is a $4 comic. Here's that Point issue I was talking about in the intro. This goes to the Amazing Spider-Man issue 80, Point Beyond, right? So the last Point issue was like completely worthless, really. It was just like Misty Knight and the other chick, I always forget her name, and they just did some battle against some weird creature. Might have ramifications later on, I don't know. This Point issue seems like something you might want to pick up because it stays more true to Spider-Man. This is where we have May Parker teaming up with Dr. Octopus to try to find out what is going on with Peter. Okay, so this is something that is connected more to the story, and this is something that you might want to read because this also goes back to the days where Aunt May and Doc Ock were together and about to get married, right? So cool stuff. This is 36 pages, $5. We move on to number 5, and we have Black Cat Infinity Score issue 1. This is the giant size, so this is the Infinity Score conclusion. It's been a hot minute since we've seen anything connected to this story and the Black Cat all together, so I'm definitely looking forward to this. You know, the Black Cat has like, I think 3 of the Infinity Stones close together. What does that mean exactly, right? Because she doesn't exactly have the stones. She has the characters that possess the stones inside them. What is she going to do with these stones? And is Thanos close by? Who knows? But I think that this might set a new status quo for the character. Looking forward to it. This is 36 pages, and this is $5. So moving forward to number 4, another great story here. This is Inferno. This is issue 3. This is like the only issue 3 we have in the countdown, and everything else is 1 and 2 in the Point issues. But anyway, we have more story that has to deal with Nimrod, and he's going to be attacking maybe Krakoa. I'm not 100% sure. There's very little detail that is discussed in this description, so I guess they want to keep it hush hush. But I want to say that issue 1 of Inferno was just okay for me. Issue 2 of Inferno was actually really good because I loved seeing how witty actually Emma Frost was in this book on trying to get Destiny back. Right now, towards the end, we wound up seeing Xavier and Magneto work together to get Colossus back on the council, which was really cool. So this has been a great story. I just wish Hickman wrote every single book like this when it came to X-Men. So, again, looking forward to it. This is the penultimate chapter, and this is 52 pages, $6. And before we get to our number 3 book, I just want to apologize for all the noise out there today, as I got people painting the next door neighbor's house, and then I have the garbage people right outside over here. So it never fails that there's a lot of annoying noise when I do my videos. All right, so moving on to number 3, we go on to Devil's Reign issue 1. So here we go, guys. We're kicking off the event that's pretty much affecting the Marvel Universe at this point. Never thought that a Daredevil-centric book would kick off a whole Marvel event, but I think you're going to like this series. You know, if you're a fan of street level heroes and keeping Marvel grounded, I think this is the event for you. You know, this is not going into space or anything that's way out there. So this could be cool. And if you followed the run, you know, from Daredevil, from Chip Zdarsky, this, again, might be for you. So this is something that's been building for quite a long time. This is a big one. 36 pages, and it's $6, guys. So how many of you are going to be reading Devil's Reign, and are you going to be reading any of these tie-ins, or are you just going to follow the main book? Here we go. Coming in at number 2. You might be surprised that it's not number 1, but we have Batman issue 118. A new chapter begins. It didn't seem too long ago that we just did this when James Tynion took over the book after Tom King, right? It's kind of funny how fast almost 2 years goes by. But here we go. This is titled Abyss Part 1. The new creative team, start of a new story arc as Batman leaves Gotham. So, what do you guys think about that? What do you think about Joshua Williamson taking over the book? Are you excited for this new direction for the character? And what do you want to see out of this Bat book, right? So this first issue of the new creative team is 40 pages, $5. I'm sure we're going to get some backup story at the end of it. What is number 1? Well, number 1 goes to Dark Knight Steel issue 2. I'm really looking forward to the follow-up issue from issue 1, right? This high fantasy DC adventure, you know, taking place in medieval times is just awesome. The first issue was so cool as we get to see how Superman made it here, or actually his parents made it here. He was born on Earth in medieval times. But it's like Superman's parents didn't really care about Superman as much as Batman did, because there was a reason why. And at the end of the first issue, you wind up getting to see that reason why the father of Superman cares about Bruce so much. So I was like, wow. And then at the very last page, it's just like, oh crap. Like, I'm trying not to spoil in case you haven't read it, but it was so good. I really enjoyed it. I love the artwork in here. And I just love seeing all the different characters in like their medieval forms. Like, for instance, you got Canary in there. They call her the Banshee, and they had to actually like collect her because she's like magic, and they had to store her like in the cell. So who else is down there in the cell, or other people that they captured? And then they got these knights, right, that work with Batman, but it's all the Robins. So I think it's so badass. It's such a great concept. This book is written by Tom Taylor. Can't wait to see this second issue. 32 pages, $4. And there you guys have it. There are my most anticipated comic books for next week, which is December 8th, 2021. The year is winding down, everybody. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. So if you did, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe. Don't forget to hit the bell and make sure you receive all notifications. I've been getting messages that people have not been getting their notifications. So make sure you do that. And of course, guys, I'll leave you more content right here to click on. And guys, most importantly, please keep buying, keep collecting, and read your comic books. So guys, I'll see you on that next video. Have a great week. Bye.